A very good morning to all of you, my dear students. Welcome back to the class and welcome back to the channel. Let's learn together once again. Hope you are all fine by the grace of the Almighty Allah. And I really pray for my students that everyone should be fine and in good health. So we have started few days ago the chapter, the Forest Society and Colonialism of grade 9. And now we have to discuss about this division of forest in the year 1807, 1878. So let us go through, let us start the how the Britishers have divided the forest. That is quite important, and this part of the chapter is really directly connected with the part of the with the chapter in grade 10. So this part especially very important. So the Forest Act of 1878, when they modified it, 1878, it divided the forest into three categories, and those three categories are reserved, protected, and the village forest. Now we will see what are the reservation, what are the conditions in these three forests. Suppose there is a forest area of 300 kilometer, so they might have divided 100 each, or maybe something different also. So let us see the three division. Reserve forest were also known as the best forest, means that those trees which can provide them hardwood straight rows, and those trees are straight also, those who are in straight rows also, and those who are very important for the Britishers, for making their shapes and for making the railways track always sleepers. So those forests were known as the best forest, and villagers could not take anything from these forests even for their own use. So villagers, means the Indians, can't take anything from their own forest, because this part of the forest has been termed as the reserve forest, which was also regarded as the best forest. So no one can take anything from this reserve forest. So that is the clicking mind, that is clicking on the mind of the Indian people. They are saying that this is our forest and we can't take anything from our forest only. That is quite really unfortunate for the Indians at that time, and that is also one of the reason for the revolt later on. Next part is what protected forest. Now villagers could take wood from protected and village forest. And the next one, next division. So protected and village forest for building houses or using it as fuel. So villagers can take wood from this protected forest as well as village forest for building what, for building their houses, for or for using it as a fuel. But for that also they require government permission to enter into the protected forest to use. So why they require government permission? So that they can't fell, they can't cut down the trees recklessly, yes, they can't cut down, they can cut down the trees, but with permission of the government. Suppose they might be given a permission of that, yes, you can take only 10 kg of wood, 10 kilogram of wood only you can take in a week or in a day, such. For that permission they will have to be take permission, then only they can enter into the protected forest. Again, it is unfortunate for the Indians that they have to take permission to enter into their own forest. From the Britishers they will have to take permission, and everything is recorded by the Britishers, that who are coming to take wood from the forest for building houses or for using it as a fuel also. So permissions may be denied, they can't be given permissions as well. So even Indians were feeling a lot of disturbance, or you can say hindrances are there, so that in the use of the forest. Let us see the third one, that is the third division, village forest. Anyone can use this forest without any permission. And let me tell you the fact, actually this village forest is not a forest, that is a just empty land, nothing is there in that village forest. Only the villagers can go with their cattle, so that they can rear the cattle over there, and the cattle can eat something in the ground, maybe grasses, means that for only the cattle may be used. Otherwise village forest would not have anything left in them, because the other reserve forests and protected forests are having something, but village forests are really not having something. That can be only used for grazing of the cattle can be grazed there. So you can see this 1878, in 1878 the Forest Act was revised and modified, you can say amended, and they have divided the forest into three categories, which was really hurting to the Indians. And that is really to be hurt also, that we, the Indians, will use our forest only, but we will have to take permission from the Britishers. Even at some part of the forest, we can't go also. So suppose there is 300 kilometer of forest, suppose, then almost 200, more than 200 kilometers are reserve forest where we can't go. And rest 100 kilometer, maybe you can say 80 kilometers are left for protected forest where you have to go, but we have to take permissions. And the next 20 kilometer, you can take anything from there, but nothing is there to take. So that is the village forest. Now we will have to see effect of forest on the life of the people before, what were they using, how were they using the village forest before this division of the forest. Okay, let us move ahead. Effect of forest on the life of the people before the Indian Forest Act of 1865. When there was no Forest Act, Indian Forest Act, then how were the life of the people, how they were living, how they were using the forest before this Indian Forest Act, whether it is 1865 or whether it is the modified one in the 1878. But we will have to see how the forests were being used, and that is important, very important questions from the point of view of your exams also. Let us see how the people were using the forest. Before the act, villagers used forests to get these things. Before the act, okay, villagers were using the whole forest. The whole forest was open for the villagers. They can take anything from anywhere. But before the act, okay, before the Indian Forest Act, so they were using forests to get the nutritious fruits, even tubers. Let me show you that tubers. It is not working, my link. Let me click there. Yeah, tubers. I think there is a meaning. Much thickened underground part of a stem. Okay, tubers are the underground part of a stem. Example in potato, serving as a food reserve and bearing birds which can really arise new plants also. So tubers, we can eat the tubers as well, and because it is a food reserve, and it bear birds also which can transform into new plants also. So the villagers were using these tubers, getting these tubers, that is a part of the underground stem. And even the villagers were getting medicine from the medicinal plants also. There were a lot of plants which can be used for medicine. Still nowadays also we get a lot of medicines from the plants. So villagers were taking medicine from medicine plants. They were using wood as a fuel also, furniture also, or for making different agricultural tools for using in the agriculture field also. So it was quite easy for the villagers. They were using everything what they can use from the village, from the forest. Even you can see they were using bamboo, bamboo to make baskets. Now, how can they make baskets from bamboo? Let us see. Let me show you. How can they make baskets from bamboo? Yeah, you can see. This baskets has been made from the bamboo plant. You see, that is quite amazing. Yeah, very good. Still you can find these type of things. Even they were making umbrella from this. Okay, like this, you can see umbrella that is from the bamboo. And again you can see fence also. They were using it as a fence also, like this. You can see they were using bamboo as a fence like this, to make fence for their garden or for their agriculture field, to protect them from the wild animals, from the other animals which can really eat all the crops. So they were using it for fencing it also. Now they were using the gourd. It is one of the vegetable. When it was dried, let me show you that vegetable also. Let me show you that vegetable. This one I'm talking about, this one. Okay, that gourd. So what they used to do, they used to dry it. जब वो सूख जाते थे, they used to scoop. Scoop means they used to take out all the things from inside that particular vegetable gourd. They used to take out all the materials from inside, and then they can use it as a water bottle also. Let me show you a water bottle which is made of gourd, that particular fruit vegetable. Yeah? That is being used like a water bottle. They can carry it and they can carry water inside it. You can see. So villages were using it. They were very advanced technologically. Also, you can see they're very intellectual. Sir, they're using God as a water bottle. You can see leaves. They were using the leaves of the forest to make disposable plates. Have you seen disposable plates? These are the plates which have been made from the leaves of different plants. So they were using these leaves to make disposable plates. Even they were using it for disposable cups also. The leaves, you can say, this is has been made from the leaf of the plants. After stitching, they can use the leaves to make plates and cups only. Now let us see how they were using the Siadi Bahuminia Valley creeper. That is the plant, that is a creeper, and that is to climb. Okay, so there is a video for you all to show. Let me then share the computer sound also with you. Let me show you that plant, that Siadi plant, SIADI. This is the plant, Siadi plant. This is the plant which is found in the forest at a large number, and they were using this plant for different. You can see this one. This part of the plant can be used for different things. I will show you. This part of the plant you can see can be used for different purposes. Even you can see there are a lot of leaves also, and we know they were making cups also. They were making cups and plates also with the help of this sort of. And this you can see, that is most important. You can see this part of the plant that they were using it to make ropes also, to make rope thread. Okay, like this they were using this one to make also the rope, which can be used, very for a lot of purposes. Let me play. This one, this one also you can see, this can be used, this part of the plant can also be used for different purposes. This one quite very important one, and this one you can see they can use it as a we can say that as a different tools also they can make from this part of the plant also. So that is why I'm showing the video, so that you can have a great look at them. You can see this part of the plant can be used to make ropes also. So really a lot of uses can be done, can be. This is the fruit of that plant. And they are really quite large in number and even great height, having great height. You can see the bark of the trees are there, the branches also there, which can be used for different purposes. You can see. So that is in the video. Now let us see what they were using these trees to make. The Siadi Bahuminia creeper can be used to make ropes, and the thorny bark, thorny यानी कि कांटेदार जो bark है of the samer tree. Let me show you this samer tree also. That is silk cotton can be gained. The samer tree you can see over here. It will be there. Samer. You can read over here. Samer means that silk cotton tree. It is also known as Bombax ceiba. That is another name of that particular tree, samer tree. Or the samer tree is an Asian tropical tree having an eroded bark with conical spines, and they have conical spines, cone type of spines they are having, and even thorns when aged. So this peculiarity is very much useful as a natural grater also. That I will show you how that is not a natural grater to cut down even the fruits can be cut down or wiped down. The bark is therefore shredded and used for grating vegetables. And vegetables को काटने का भी इस्तेमाल वो लोग करते थे. They used to make grater for making for cutting the vegetables also. I will show you. Let me show you. You can see the silk cotton tree. Let me show you the tree over here. This one. A cotton tree seen here at Delhi with flowers which bloom from February to April. The flower only blooms in these 3 months, February, March, and April. A cotton tree can be used. So these type of trees were also available in the forest, which they were using. This is used to grate or crush the vegetables also. They were making different things to make or crush the vegetables. Even you can see oil for cooking, and even they were using oil to light lamps can be pressed from the fruit of mahua trees. So you might have seen the mahua trees also, which they were using. They were crushing that particular fruit of the mahua trees, which can be pressed, and they can get the oil from that fruit, and that oil can be used for cooking and even to light the lamps also during the nights or in the evening. Let me show you that mahua tree also. Yeah, this is the fruit that we get from the mahua trees. And after you, if you will press it on a heart, then you will get the liquid from this mahua tree, and you can get oil from it, and which can be used for lighting the lamps as well as for cooking also. So you can see the villagers, the people who are living nearby the forest, they are using forest at their best. Villagers wanted forest with a mixture of species and a different type of species also. Let me tell you that the villagers were also collecting a lot of spices as well, different type of fruits and vegetables also well from the forest. So villagers, they wanted a mixture of species to satisfy different needs. The villagers didn't want that only same type of trees should be there in the whole forest, like timber trees or like the trees which can provide them hardwood. Okay, so they don't want, they want a mixture of trees so that they can varieties of things from the forest to satisfy their needs, to meet their needs, such as they can use the trees as a fuel also, as a fodder for feeding the animals also. They can use the leaves also. Let me show you, one of the link is there. No, no. You can see over here a lot of leaves are there. You can say drying tendu leaves. Now the people are drying these tendu leaves in the sun so that they can make bidis that I showed you in previous classes. They were using tendu leaves to make bidi, and that is like a cigarette. The sale of tendu leaves is a major source of income for many people living in the forest. So a lot of companies, they used to come in the forest, then they used to get these tendu leaves and purchase these tendu leaves from these people, and then those companies, they use it in different purposes such as making bidis or cigarettes. So they used to use these leaves. Each bundle contains approximately 50 leaves. They used to make a bundle of leaves. These people who are living in the forest, they, after drying the leaf in the sun, they used to make a bundle of 50 leaves in a particular bundle. And if a person works very hard, then they can perhaps collect as many as 100 bundles in a day. So they can make a 50 leaves in one bundle, and they can make 100 bundles in a day if the person worked very hard. Women, children, and old men are all the main collectors. They used to collect the particular leaves from different places, and they used to gather it, and in the open sun they used to dry the leaves if it is wet. So women and children and old women are doing this collection, and even women, you can see they are making bundles over here. So, but the forest department, now this is the demand of the villagers. They want mixture of trees in the forest, but the forest department wanted trees which are suitable for building ships or railways, or that could provide hardwood. So there is a different demand of different people. Forest department want forests which have trees which can provide them wood for building the ships, for building the sleepers of the railways, for building the coach also of the railways. Even they for they were wanting, they wanted wood that the forest that can provide them, the trees that can provide them hardwood and were tall also and straight. Even they want straight trees that can be straight that could not be curving like here and there. So they want straight trees, tall trees which can be used to build ships and sleepers for railways very easily. So if they will get the woods which are turning here and there and curving, so they will not be able to build the ships properly or sleepers. A lot of woods will be wasted. So that's why they wanted tall trees, straight trees, and the trees which can provide them hardwood. And those trees were trees of teak and sal trees. These two type of trees, that was the main demand of the Britishers. They wanted this type of trees. Teak and sals were promoted, and others were cut down by the forest department. And here comes the clash between the villagers and the forest department. The forest department wanted only teak and salt trees, but the villagers wanted a mixture of trees. And that's why there was a clash between the forest department and the villagers. Because forest department wanted other trees to be cut down. They don't want any other trees. They only want teak and salt trees. So, my dear students, let us come back. Effect of forest on the life of the people after the Indian Forest Act. What we have seen before also, when there was no forest act, when there was no restriction, people were using the forest in the best use, whatever the use they can use, they were using it. But what happened after the forest act of 1865? Let us see. A question can be asked from you in this way also. Describe how changes in forest management or department affected different groups of people in colonial period. So this is the question that you have to write. Answers, let us discuss the answer. The new act mostly affected four groups of people. There were, now we are dividing the groups of people into four groups, and this new act affected these four groups of people. Let us see. Number one, the villagers. All their everyday practices, cutting wood for their houses, grazing their cattle, collecting fruits and roots, hunting and fishing, that all became illegal after the Indian Forest Act, because they cannot enter into the reserve forest. So even hunting, even fishing, even grazing the cattle, collecting fruits and roots, and cutting wood for their houses, all became illegal. People were now forced to steal wood from the forest. What they will do then? Because if you will stop them, then they will start stealing them. चोरी करने पर मजबूर हो गए लोग. The people were forced to steal wood from the forest, and when they were caught, they were punished by the Forest Act also. Britishers also, they were punished also. They are sent behind the bars for stealing the woods from their own forest. So that is really, that was really unfortunate for the villagers who were living nearby the forest. Shifting cultivators. Now, the second effect was there with the people who were involved in shifting cultivation. And you might be knowing, you might have learned in geography about shifting cultivation, or it is also known as Sweden agriculture as well. No? It is also known as Sweden agriculture. So let me see, there is a link there in shifting cultivation. Let me show you. Burning the forest, penda or Purdue plot. You can see the people are burning the forest. What they used to do now in shifting cultivation, a clearing is made in the forest, actually on the slopes of the hills. After the trees have been cut, after growing the crops or after growing the trees, the farmers or the villagers, they used to cut down the trees, and they used to burn that particular area and go to some other places. And why they are burned down? They are burned to provide ashes, so that they can collect the ashes as well. The seeds are then scattered in the area and left to be irrigated by the rain. And what after that? After collecting the ashes from the ground, the villagers, they used to just scatter the seeds in that particular area and leave it for some time, on the, you can say they are leaving it for the rain, so that it can be irrigated automatically. So that was the shifting agriculture that people were following, and that really affected the Indian Forest Act, affected their life also. Part of the forest are cut. In shifting cultivation, what really happened? Parts of the forest are cut and burnt in rotation. In rotation, and after few years, after 1 year, 2 year, again they will start. They will come. The villagers will come in that place, and they will again grow the crops there in shifting or shifting agriculture. So many communities were forcibly displaced from their homes in the forest. So after this Indian Forest Act, many of the villagers were forced to leave their home in the forest. Where they were living in the forest, they were forced to leave the forest. Some had to change occupations. Many people had to change this occupation. Many of them started working in factories, or even working in the railway department, or for making sleepers. So many of them were forced to change their occupations, while some resisted. Some of them protested also. through large and small revolt, while some resisted through large and small scale revolt. So many of them revolted also, and those who were revolted, you know what will happen to them? They will be crushed by the Britishers, obviously. But this type of cultivation, shifting cultivation, nowadays is banned by the Indian government also, because there is a chances of fire in the forest, where all the forest will be burned because of this activity. That's why it is burned now. Now the next, forest dwellers. Now people who were living in the forest, many people who were living in the forest were survived by hunting the deer or the partridges, and many people were surviving because of the forest. This is the partridge. They were hunting and eating the meat of this bird also. So, and a variety of small animals. So people were dependent on a variety of small animals, deer, partridges, and that forest has prohibited that also. You cannot hunt. So those who were caught hunting were punished for poaching, means stealing. So people who were in the living in the forest, they were also got disturbed. And next one is the pastoralists and nomadics. These are the people, those who used to graze their cattle and wander from one place to another place for grazing. They used to sell their animals to the others. Even they use the meat of the animals. They used to get the milk from the animals. We know a lot of things we can get from the animals after grazing. So many of the pastoralists or the nomadics, they were moving from place to place, and they were using their cattle to graze in the forest. But this was also banned. Grazing was also declared illegal. Nomadic communities like, remember the name of these communities: Korava, Karacha, Yerukula of Madras presidency, lost their livelihood. They all lost their livelihood. उनको अब कमाने खाने का जरिया खत्म हो गया था. Those tribes who continued grazing were called criminal tribes. और जो tribes forest act के बाद भी, they were grazing after this forest act, after this banning of the grazing, those tribes were known as criminal tribes by the British. They were calling them criminal tribes. Those who stopped grazing, they started in mines. Many people stopped grazing also. They know that now it is illegal, so they stopped grazing and they started working in mines, factories, and plantations. So these are the four type of people, those who were greatly affected by the Indian Forest Act of 1865 and later on also. So really people were really hurting. Many of them lost their livelihood. Many of them were really struggling to earn their livelihood also. Many of them changed their working, changed their occupation working, and many of them revolted also, you can see. So more we will discuss of this chapter in the next part of the chapter. That is all in this class, my students. That's all. Thank you. Bye bye. Stay at home and stay safe.